part of the challenge is so much of it is so new, and we're constantly learning new ways about how this new form of media is created. It's exciting that we get to sort of pioneer it, but also scary. White Rabbit is a Web3 interactive anime series about the journey of going down the crypto rabbit hole. It follows our protagonist Mirai, who embarks on a journey to discover the blockchain and defend the blockchain. The general themes that are explored are self-sovereignty, free will versus illusion of choice, and the ability to build new types of governance and economic freedom. Where we kind of dive into the self-sovereignty and free will versus illusion of choice is less in the visual parts of the medium, but more in the narrative, because the story is an interactive one. It's on a new medium, and it's kind of this pick your own path style storytelling.
We've been working in the film and VFX industries for 10, 15 years. Anyone who works in the film industry understands that making movies and animations is incredibly difficult task to pull off. Most of the animations and movies are actually never made.
There's a lot of gatekeepers in traditional Hollywood, right? And so even if we have an idea, especially one like White Rabbit, I think would be really difficult to be picked up by any studio or production in a traditional sense. And when Web3 came along, we basically were able to just not wait for anybody to say yes and just start making it. And so that's kind of how we started. White Rabbit itself is very metaphorical. So, we hid so many Easter eggs and metaphors and meanings behind these visuals that are so embedded with the complex concepts of crypto. The shift from chapter 2 to chapter 3 was ironically, between those chapters, the entire crypto market had crashed. We want to sort of use White Rabbit to kind of capture that experience of being red-pilled in a visually compelling way for our audience.
Yeah, we had a lot of discussions like what the structure of the story is going to be and like the audience choices are. But I think where we landed at is a journey through the blockchain, basically.
The first chapter, which is the start of the story, we see our protagonist Mirai waking up in this field. The sort of chapter ends with her coming across these two doors, and behind each door is actually an alternate ending. What we did was we had sort of our audience help to pick which door she would go through. You can watch both of them, and basically they voted through staking an NFT, one of the two doors, and simultaneously by purchasing the NFT, they're also funding the production of the series. And so in the end, the audience decided on going through the left door, and then that's where the journey of her venturing down the blockchain begins.
Chapter 2 actually became more of like a real production.
Yes.
Like what you would expect working in animation, just more kind of garage style.
The second chapter, the narrative is about the confusion of Mirai, the protagonist, between whether or not we're trying to just steer the audience to, listen to the fox but then listen to the lady. And that kind of confusion, I think, echoes people's individual experiences within entering crypto and trying to understand it first. You don't know who to trust. There's a lot of people trying to tell you different information. And so that's kind of the main point or metaphorical meaning behind the story of chapter 2.
I think Scar can enhance the visual experience. For us, it was a no-brainer. Like, let's get a really good composer.
Emily and Michelle were both incredible collaborators to work with, and they were super open to allowing me to be myself musically. I definitely was inspired by combining like the two worlds of electronic music and orchestral music. Obviously, big influences would be the music of John Williams and Joe Hisaishi, and I think using these like staples of incredible orchestral music and warping them through computers and synthesizers. I ran some of the strings through old tape cassette machines, and I think it's always interesting to kind of morph a traditional genre of music like orchestral music and use contemporary instruments to kind of change what's expected of that musical form.
Chapter 3 is really about introducing conflict and chaos. Basically, Chapter 3 came after the crash of the crypto markets, and we are sort of documenting that. These are sort of very, very subtly portrayed through striking images within the chapter. So the Terra Luna was the cracking moon in the background. And then the Celsius one was actually when the ground freezes beneath Mirai's feet.
The temperature changed too.
Yeah, the temperature, she says, it feels cold. And then the third one being the 3 arrows is you literally will see 3 arrows quickly in the visuals. So for chapter 3, I think Michelle and I realized that neither of us are particularly talented at writing dialogue. And so we wanted to bring on an actual show writer.
And I knew Anthony from working with him on my personal short film, Showtime, one of the most talented musicians, film director, writer. He's a real Renaissance man.
The inspirations for writing episode 3 from my point of view are from a place of caution. We don't know where the story is headed 100% either, because the audience is helping us in real time to create it, and the market is helping us in real time to decipher it. I think that's what I'm bringing to my inspiration, is that it's exciting and it's scary. And so I'm excited to do that. When we started working together, we had a great relationship in that we have very quick iterations. I sort of pride myself as a creator in working with people that I see eye to eye with, so that we don't have to go back and forth too often, and that we're all on the same page even before we start creating any aspect of the project.
The most exciting aspect of the White Rabbit storytelling is that the audience is like a big part of it.
We're really excited to see where the audience is going to take and shape this story.